right, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. I am Riley with the T Storm Chasers, and we're going to take a look at your forecast. But before we do, here is a brief word from our sponsors at Cube Portable Storage.
What are you doing?
Decluttering?
Moving? Remodeling? In need of temporary storage, emergency cleanup, or just need to declutter? Cube Portable Storage has the perfect solution. Rent your Cube Portable Storage container today.
And don't forget, they got roll-off dumpsters for the other stuff. Call Cube Storage for all your moving needs.
All right, good evening everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight for a weather video. We are going to update you guys on the severe weather that has been going on this evening in South Dakota. Let's start first down in north central Nebraska, where we do have a tornado watch that is still in effect here until 11 o'clock, so another hour to go on this. This storm complex here did produce a tornado earlier this evening, back when it was up in South Dakota near Rosebud and Parmalee areas earlier this evening, and since it is kind of slowly faded away as it has drifted southeast through Valentine, Nebraska. There were a bunch of tornado warnings earlier this evening on this storm, and we were giving you guys Facebook and social media updates earlier to give you guys those updates. But right now, it is just a strong thunderstorm. It is non-severe, non-tornadic at this point. Just a lot of lightning and a big thunderstorm there in Cherry County, Nebraska, near Ainsworth as well, and Springview. So that is the remnants of what was tornadic activity earlier this evening. There also was a tornado watch in south central South Dakota, but they have allowed that to expire as these storms have drifted farther to the south. Also, we do have this now. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect here for northwestern South Dakota, Buffalo, Bison, Faith, Eagle Butte, near Rapid City, all in this severe thunderstorm watch, which is in effect now until 3 a.m. So we got 5 hours to go on this, and the threat's 70 mile per hour winds and 1.5 inch hail. So that is your severe thunderstorm watch there for northwestern South Dakota there in yellow. So wanted to update you guys on that as well. Your thunderstorms are up here in northwest corner of South Dakota near Buffalo. That will continue to progress eastward. So that is the latest on the radar. Now, earlier today, we had some severe thunderstorms rolling through east central South Dakota near the Woonsocket area. Woonsocket in particular had very, very strong winds move through that town. I have a lot of ties to that town, know a lot of people there, family grew up there. And Woonsocket got pretty badly damaged. A lot of damage in Woonsocket today. We had 80 to 90 mile per hour winds go through Woonsocket earlier today, around that 2:30 to 3:30 time frame. And yeah, just a very strong thunderstorm. Unfortunately, I don't have, won't let me put a loop on this for you. But again, it was near Woonsocket earlier this evening. There was a very powerful thunderstorm. Had a severe thunderstorm warning on it. Believe it was just straight line winds from what I've heard. So luckily it doesn't sound like anybody was hurt or injured or killed, so that is wonderful. Hopefully that still remains the case over the next several days. But just wanted to mention that for those of you that were not aware, near Woonsocket, very badly damaged there from the storm. So the town will have to clean up, unfortunately. So now let's look at the model runs, but first let's hear a brief word now from our sponsors at CE Construction.
From roofing to siding, CE Construction is setting the standard across North and South Dakota. Our expert team delivers quality, durability, and trust on every project. CE Construction, Dakotans helping Dakotans with their roofing and siding needs. Call or visit us online.
All right, so take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks for you. This is for the rest of tonight into the overnight hours. We do have a slight risk in yellow for central South Dakota, Mulbridge, Pierre, Winter, Chamberlain, up towards Faith, Buffalo areas, all in that slight risk, down into Nebraska, Valentine, North Platte areas there. And then for the Sioux Falls area, eastern South Dakota, there is a marginal risk, so there is still a risk for severe weather for the Sioux Falls area, but it is not as high as it could be. It is a very low risk, so that's good news there. And then tornado risk for the rest of tonight, again, it's that south central part of South Dakota into Nebraska. For tomorrow, we are looking at another severe weather risk here. Marginal risk there in green for Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, west central Minnesota, and North Dakota. Sioux Falls is included in this, Aberdeen, Pierre, Rapid City. And then here's your tornado risk for tomorrow. Again, Mulbridge, Pierre, Huron, and Aberdeen, all impacted there by that tornado risk. That is for tomorrow. So all modes are going to be on the table once again tomorrow. There's your hail risk and wind risk. So that is what we're looking at. And then for your day on Tuesday, day 3, there is a slight risk here in northeastern corner of South Dakota, Sisseton, and then Fargo areas, and then over into Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Cloud areas, Rochester, New Ulm, all in that slight risk there in yellow. Sioux Falls, once again, any marginal risk. So for the next 3 days, we do have severe weather outlooks that you guys need to be paying attention to, and you guys need to be aware of that. So that is your severe weather risks. All right, so as we take a look at the latest on the HRRR model, this is the current activity. Again, that's in north central Nebraska that, again, had the tornado earlier. That is expected to continue for the next couple of hours in north central Nebraska before that will dissipate. And then we have those storms up in northwestern corner of South Dakota into North Dakota that will continue to move east overnight into north central South Dakota by tonight, and then into northeastern South Dakota, perhaps near the Aberdeen area by tomorrow morning. So something to keep an eye on there, and then kind of near the Sisseton area tomorrow morning, mid-morning, and then that will continue to push off into Minnesota. So that thunderstorm you see in North Dakota and northwestern South Dakota will continue to progress eastward all night long into tomorrow. So I did just give you guys a heads up on that. Eventually ends up in Minnesota, and more activity in North Dakota there, as you can see. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll see what happens. This HRRR model wants to show thunderstorm development once again in south central South Dakota tomorrow afternoon, and then into central South Dakota near Pierre, Chamberlain areas there, Winter by tomorrow evening, and then that kind of pushes northeast into northeastern South Dakota. And then once again, another band near northwestern South Dakota, another band of thunderstorm activity. So in a lot of ways, this map looks very similar to what happened today. Same kind of spots. I know today we had Woonsocket was a spot that got hit really hard. I know I got a lot of ties to Woonsocket. Hopefully everybody is okay in Woonsocket. Just a lot of damage is all. I don't think there was any injuries or deaths. And then tomorrow night, thunderstorms in eastern South Dakota into Nebraska, and then North Dakota near Sioux Falls there, Brookings, and then down into Nebraska there. That's tomorrow night. So tomorrow night looks like that's the next shot for Sioux Falls to get in on thunderstorm activity. And then we'll see what happens after that. If we look at the NAM, another good model run we like to use, showing for Tuesday. Tuesday, there is going to be a low pressure, looks like, according to this, over central South Dakota, but not really seeing much on Tuesday, not really seeing a whole lot there. There could be a few maybe isolated rain showers there in South Dakota, Nebraska, but looks like mainly it's going to be across Minnesota and Wisconsin on Tuesday. And then Tuesday night into Wednesday, another system of rain comes in. You know, whether this is severe weather or not, that is yet to be seen. More likely just rain and maybe some thunderstorm activity. Not looking at a whole lot there. And then by Thursday, we'll see what happens by then. But that is the latest there on model runs. And now let's actually look at the temperatures this week. I wanted to go ahead and look at this for you guys. The temperatures this week is going to be hot once again, which, you know, is typical for July. mid to late July. It's kind of to be expected around here this time of the year. How about tomorrow? 102 out in Pierre. My, oh my, that is downright hot. That is dog days of summer type heat right there. That is for tomorrow. 90s everywhere else. There could be a few 80s in eastern South Dakota there near Sioux Falls. And then on Tuesday, 80s and 90s return to the forecast. There's even a few triple digits in central South Dakota out near Pierre, Phillip areas, Badlands area. That is very hot. So there's obviously heat advisories. I'm going to show that graphic in just a moment. But the heat is going to be a factor once again this week, which is kind of to be expected for mid to late July. And then on Wednesday, once again, more heat in the Sioux Falls area, low 90s, near 93 in Sioux Falls. Could we see 100 down near Yankton? That is certainly possible. On the back side of this, we got 60s, 70s, and 80s. So a little bit cooler on the back side of this front. And then by Thursday, warming back up again, 80s and 90s once again in the forecast. Mid-80s for Sioux Falls there on Thursday. And then Friday, warm again, 80s and 90s. So 80s and 90s with a few 100s is kind of the theme for this entire upcoming week. And then by next weekend, even warmer, 90s and triple digits. As you can see there, very hot weather again this weekend. So if you like the heat, you're going to love this forecast this week. We got very hot weather coming your way. So that is a look at temperatures. We'll see what happens next week. I think next week, inevitably, we will probably cool down a little bit. But again, we are entering the dog days of summer, so you can't really expect any cool type weather anytime soon. We are in the peak of hot weather, so that is exactly what we are going to be seeing over the next week. So that is the latest there on temps. Alright, so that'll do it for tonight's video. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Be sure to give it a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. And hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube for more content and more updates as we get them. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Hope you all stay safe out there. Have a great night.